Hi guys, how are you doing? Currently, I'm trying to figure out a new pattern for a tutorial for the channel. Yeah, usually this is the hardest stage to do it to the hardest stage of crochet. You have to figure out how everything is going to be for the tutorial. So that is what I'm doing currently. Yeah, how are you guys doing? I hope you can see me and you can ask me questions. You can ask me literally anything. I've never been live on YouTube, so it's a bit exciting. Also, what do you want to see for the channel? What are you into? This stage of figuring out a pattern, hey, this is where things become a bit challenging. But I'll figure it out. Once I figure this out, I'll just start making a tutorial for it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be making a dress once I figure out what the pattern is, so that is good. I've made this dress a couple of times actually. I made it last year for several of my clients, like around 15. And in this same color, I made myself one in a green color, but I think I did not like it. It was a mini dress. The original version was a maxi dress, which was so nice. So I think I'm just gonna make it in the maxi version. Yeah, like the original dress. But for now, I'm just trying to figure out how to make a good comprehensive tutorial for it. I made my dress, the short version in green, but I did not make a tutorial. I think this color is really good. It's underrated, but it's such a good color. The cardigan you're wearing looks cute. Thank you very much. I made this a while back. I think I made it, which year are we in? I think I made it at the beginning of 2022 in January. Was it January? Or at the end of 2022? I can't remember really, but I made it a while back. It is one of my favorite cardigan. It is so comfortable, like you can't believe it. Also, the original version, when I made it, it was too big, too big. So what I did, I had to like undo the arms and then remove a few of the granny squares on the arms, and then it became super fitting, and I loved it. I've worn it a lot of times. I'm sure it looks old, but I don't mind. That means it's been loved, right? That means it's been loved very much. Yeah, I usually like, when I make something, I just like making things that I can wear. I remember when I started crocheting, my journey was so different then. When I started crocheting, I started by selling the garments to people. I never got to like keep any piece, nothing like that. I sold most of my pieces. So this year I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take a little break and start making things for myself and for the channel, which, to be honest with you, I'm still overwhelmed by the support I've gotten from like the YouTube community. You guys have been super supportive. Like you've showed up for me. I honestly, I can't believe it, to be honest. I can't believe it. You guys have showed up for me. You guys have supported me. You've watched my videos. You've commented. I'm still in awe of what is happening, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna stick to the YouTube community for a while. I used to sell a lot of my pieces, but the downside of that, I believe for me, it was that I did not get to enjoy the, what is it? I did not get to enjoy the creative journey of crocheting, if that makes sense. Like if I saw a piece on Pinterest, I did not get to like have time to make it, which I'm not complaining. Again, I'm grateful that I got to have people buy my work and people believe in me, which was such a good thing. Somebody is asking, when did I start crocheting? I think 7 years ago, I believe. When did I ever make my first piece? I think in 2017. Is it 17? 18, I think. I can't. 2018, I believe. I think that is the exact year. Yeah. So as I was saying, hi, how are you? Hello, I am from Kerala. How are you? I'm from Kenya. I'm fine. How are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. So as I was saying, when I started the journey, things were good, but for now I decided to like take a break so that I can enjoy the creative journey of creating, if that makes sense. Yeah. So for now, lately I've just been making pieces for myself, so that I've just been making pieces for myself. I get to explore different design, different stitches, all those type of things. Yeah, which is really, really nice. It helps me grow and all of that nice stuff. I'm in the third row. Let's see how this turns out. Oh, you're also from Kenya. Welcome, welcome. Karibuni. Karibu, kujeni. Your name is Reshmi Genius. Okay. That's a good name. Is it a pseudo name? Or I'm asking too many questions? Anyway, as I was saying, right now I just focus on making stuff for myself, really. I believe I missed out on that part a lot when I was starting, but again, I'm not complaining. I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to create pieces for people, and I'm also grateful that people trusted me to like make them pieces. That was such an honor because I was an absolute beginner, and sometimes I will make pieces and I'm like, oh my god, how did I even make this one? And then if you tell me to make the piece like days later or even a month later, I'm like, no, I can't even remember the first thing about making the pieces. Now I have to go back to the drawing board. It was such a hassle, but it was definitely worth it, and I got to learn a lot, honestly speaking, because you know, in this, I feel like in this crocheting journey, like there's a lot to learn that I feel like nobody really talks about it. People just make it seem all cutesy, like you just take your crochet hook, buy some yarn and just like sit down, go to Pinterest, say a piece and just start. But no, it's not like that. At least for me, it wasn't like that. It was a lot more. Like sometimes I remember there are times I could spend like a week making a piece and then it does not turn out the way it's supposed to be, so I have to like redo the whole piece. It was a lot, but again, I'm super grateful that I got the opportunity to do that, honestly. Yeah. Another thing, what else should we talk about? To be honest, oh, it's turning out really cute, right? Anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to make it into a tutorial, so it has to be really comprehensive. 1 2 3. I think I'll undo this row. I need to do a few adjustments. Sometimes I will do like a piece, and then the pricing part, you start pricing things. Oh my goodness, I always hated that part, to be honest with you. You make a piece, somebody asks you, oh, I want this dress, they send you a picture, can you make it for me? And you're like, yes, of course I can make it for you. How long will it take? You say, probably a week. It will take me a week or two, let's say 2 weeks. They ask you how much will it go for, you go like, oh, it will only go for like, let's say 1,500. Oh, they're like, bet, let me send the deposit. Then they send the deposit. Then when you're making the piece, you realize, oh my God. I will once I will once I'm done figuring out how to make it into a tutorial. Anyway, as I was saying, somebody tells you, oh, can you make the dress for me? You're like, of course. They send the deposit, and then you go to the yarn store, and then you check the yarn price, and you're like, I did not even think of this. Maybe you thought you're going to use like maybe five balls of yarn. It turns out you need a pack, so you did not even consider the pricing of the yarn, the amount of time you're going to take to make. So you just like end up making the dress, but you just make little to no money, and you're like, I cannot ask the client for like extra money, because again, I did not factor in all of those things. Yeah, but I really can't complain. You learn. I believe you learn as you go. Some things you just have to learn as you go, so that you get better. Yeah. Right now though, for pricing, I just give you the price, and then I'm like, if maybe you are not comfortable with the price, I can give you a little bargain. But if you want extra bargain, I'm like, you know what, I'll take my chances and I'll just like walk away. It's no big deal, no hard feelings. But that was such a hard thing to go through. Not really, it was such a challenging time, but I got to make so many pieces that I can't remember how I made them in the first place. I just wish I had a YouTube channel that time to record something like that. Does it matter when you crochet and consider the time? Yeah, it does. It does, because you have to consider how many days. Like if a piece takes you like maybe 10 days, you have to factor in the money that you're going to get, so that you don't like go into losses or something like that, because sometimes you can spend so much time. I remember there was a time I was making so many pieces. I was in, what is the word, I was exporting, I believe so. They were from, I was sending them to US, and the pieces took me like around 3 months to make. That means I don't do anything else. I just wake up, eat, take my crochet hook and sit down. Wake up, eat, take up my crochet hook and sit down. That's a long ass time, but they were many pieces. So you have to consider that time, because you need money. Of course, you need money to live, you need to buy yarn, you need supplies, all those things. So you have to consider that. Otherwise, if you don't consider that things can go haywire. But some people are really fast in crocheting. Personally, I don't think I'm that fast. I'll say average. I crochet at an average speed. I'm not very fast. Last month though, I crocheted until for the first time my hand started hurting, and I was like, this does not look good. This is not good. But it was worth it, I believe so. I think I'll get they are called the compression gloves. Now I think this is going to work. Let me measure it. It's 11 inches. I think it's going to work, to be honest. Let me make a few more rows, then I'll start the tutorial, then I'll have to leave you guys. But for now, let's talk. Also, did I introduce myself? My name is Anne. Yeah. And my channel is called 7 Made. Why I named it that? It's because 7 is my favorite number. So it just makes sense to name it like that anyway, because crocheting is my favorite thing to do in the whole entire world wide. Anyway, I'm starting a new row. I think from now on, everything else will be okay. I believe so. But you always have to figure out, at least for me, I always have to figure out how the pattern is going to flow. And when I started crocheting, I did not even know like the pattern, how to read pattern, how to, all the nitty-gritties. I will just see, somebody will just send me a picture and I'm like, can you make me this? And I'm like, okay, I just look at the image, I look at the stitches, and then I'm like, you know what? Off I go. And then I start cooking. Some of the things I made, I'm like, this shit does not make sense. It does not make sense how I made it. It looks like the picture you sent me, don't get me wrong, but it does not make sense. If you ask me to tell you how I made it, I have no idea. Hata mimi mwenyewe, I cannot explain it to you. I have no idea how I made it. What matters is that what was asked for was delivered, right? you take your win. The other things, you leave them alone. So that's why this year I decided, you know what, I'm going to start making things for myself and for the channel. It helped, and I get to learn. You see, I get to learn the nitty-gritties of everything. Like, I get to know how to do the patterns, all those things, how to make a video tutorial, all those things. I think that is what I'm looking forward to doing. That is what I've been trying to do, at least this year. Yeah, but so far so good. I cannot complain. It has been kind of rewarding, you can say that, because now, like, even if I make this dress and eventually I'll make it into a video tutorial, and I want to make it for someone else, so I'll just go back to the video and make it that way. At least I have a reference of what I'm making, if that makes sense. Now I don't have to start from the drawing board again. I don't have to figure out the pattern, figure out the stitch, figure out whatever it is. I just ask for the measurement, I go through